All right, bud, we're live.
So how was your workout this morning?
Better than expected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
You
So
know, I
what'd you
mean,
what'd you do?
well, okay.
What was your workout plan, or what'd you work out today? That's what I mean.
Well, what are you doing? Oh,
I'm
my
getting my
bad.
shaker cup.
um, it's upper body day for us.
Okay.
So, you know, those of you that don't know, a little boo boo on
Yeah. Uh,
Friday afternoon,
Pinker today,
which
or more purple today than it was
it
yesterday,
looks
my
like a
friend.
nice grape now.
Yeah.
I got a great boob. But it looks worse than it really is. From I mean, this doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And like 30 years ago when I was about 25, I shredded the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Like I couldn't pick my arm up for a couple weeks. So didn't have insurance and whatever. But anyhow, so and sometimes I'm smart up here,
Yeah.
but I'm not smart in my heart and what I do. And Erica's like, "What are you doing?" Because I sat down at the bench press machine. I put 70 pounds on it.
Yeah.
Like I usually start with 130 to warm up. I'm like, well, I know I can do 70 with one arm to warm up. I just went through the range of motion, and I was probably doing 90% of it with this arm for the first set.
Yeah.
I did like 5 sets and got to where I was pushing a little bit without virtually no pain. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, the pain might have been a 1.5. So I'm like, okay. And Erica's like, should you be doing that? And I said, well, here's my theory. Doctors have to be cautious. They're going to say, don't do that.
Hmm.
But I think movement and blood flow is good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm not a doctor, but I
And
agree
well,
with
and
you. That's my
there
philosophy.
are a few doctors out there that say that as long as don't go in meathead mode
Hmm.
because it feels all right and jack the weights up. So I
Yeah.
just kept it at 70 pounds. You know, my wife's pressing more than I am on every
This is
set.
this is today.
Today,
Okay.
this is an hour ago.
Cool.
Did some lat pulls with, half the weight I usually just to get things moving.
Yeah.
Um, and I left chest it just doing what I did.
Hmm.
And then instead of doing like bent over rows like I've been doing, um, I put the handles on the machine here and put 60 pounds on each side, and I do a set. So I'm getting some core work into standing. Did half a dozen sets of those. Looks at lightweight. I got that meathead. I don't want to lose anything
Yeah.
or lose as little as possible in the course of this recovery. And then I just decided I'm training legs every day that I'm here.
So is there any other than the discoloring, is there any deformity in there? I
A little
mean,
bit. I can. There's a little line right through here. Where
uh-huh.
I mean, I've had enough little big tears, little tears. I knew it was happening, so I immediately set it down
Yeah.
and basically packed up my bag. Was mad over something that you can't control. Sometimes this just happens. I wasn't lifting anything heavier than I've lifted in several workouts.
Yeah.
I mean, I was lifting a little heavy, but not. I wasn't like I was trying to add to it. Um, so it's just one of those shit happens.
Hmm.
And I went home that night and I was a little grumpy. Sarah had a soccer game, and Erica's like, I'm like, you go to the soccer game. I need to get
Yeah.
my head straight, you know? And I moped around the house. And then by the time she got home, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Just got to get my head straight and it'll be fine. I'll just
Yeah.
train. I'll do a lot of leg stuff. And I said, I don't know, maybe I need to take 6 weeks off. And then she says, she looks at me, her eyes get really big, and she's like, you not going to the gym for 6 weeks is not a good idea.
Hmm.
I said, yeah, you're right. So I just work around it, do the best I can.
Would that have created a grumpy Eric around the house if you would have decided not to go to the gym for 6 weeks?
This is alluding to the topic I sent you.
Exactly.
And yes, it would have, because I'm a person that I love to work out.
Yeah.
It's part of my life. So I will do this until the day I die.
Yeah.
It's always been my mantra, my attitude. I mean, and I started when I was 13. By the time I was 14, that was I'm doing this. Like nothing's going to keep me from doing it. So yeah, if I don't do it, I mean, I take a couple days off
Yeah.
on vacation or whatever. But usually even day 3 of vacation, I'm like, okay, if there's in the gym, we got to do some push-ups and some pull-ups, something, a few sets. So, but yeah, and I've heard arguments both ways. I will agree that it might not make me a better father, a better husband, It might not make me a better person at work.
Lifting
From
weights.
well, listen, from the perspective of, am I going to be a nice guy and helpful, or am I going to be an asshole? You can lift weights and still be an asshole.
Yes.
But if I, based on my lifestyle and the endorphins I get from it and how I feel,
Yeah.
it helps me to temper my asshole side much more.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it's not for everybody in that respect.
Yeah.
But I think from a health and fitness perspective, it is for everybody. And I think most people, once they get doing it, see that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't do it for 3 days if you've never done it and feel it.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you're like, holy crap, this is work.
It's the discipline and consistency that builds up over time that you finally start to realize the bit what you're talking about. You know, first time training, someone comes in and they hit it. You know, more than likely they're going to walk out of here like, this sucks. I'm sore.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that first time trainer that's coming in and hitting their first session, that's probably not going to be the outlook on it in the beginning.
Their initial outlook is like, this is work.
Time and making it part of your routine and daily habit that eventually you're like, if you're not doing it, you feel like you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely. And prime example of this, a few days ago, Erica and I were working out. We were getting done, and Cody was here.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Uh-huh.
And man, I looked at him like, dude, I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, but like, I'm like, dude, you look even better.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, thanks. And he's like, yeah, I've dropped a few more pounds. And his wife's all, he's got a good support system.
Yeah.
But he's a prime example of, if Cody was sitting here right now, he'd be like, yeah, the first couple of workouts sucked.
Yeah.
But look at him now. It's a whole different animal.
Absolutely, man.
So,
you know what? I don't want to offend anybody, because there is a time to, if you're truly injured, to take off if the doctor says to.
Absolutely.
But it really irks me when people use things as an excuse not to.
I know where you're going with this.
And so, like, when I began my competition prep for the show that I did this past year, the second week I was walking around here in the gym barefoot. I mean, I had my socks on, but I took my shoes off because I was going to do some leg presses out of the gate.
I think I remember this kind of.
And we have this steel dumbbell holder over in the corner. And I clipped my pinky toe.
Broke your toe?
On the corner of it, yeah. And it was like, my
Don't do that to
pinky
your
toe
finger
was sticking out that way.
Right.
It was like 90-degree angle.
And it hurts.
And I was like, oh,
like hell.
Shit.
That makes heavy leg day tough.
It does.
Because that's where all the nerve
And
endings
so
are.
I had a split second where I was like, well, I guess I'm done. And I was like, no, you're not.
You had that woe is me, oh, life sucks moment.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that was it. I thought, oh, I'm hurt. I probably should do that. I was like, no, I'm going to get my ass on the leg press, and I'll start off light and see how my toe feels.
Yeah.
And I took some medical tape and pulled it up and taped it to the other toe to stabilize it. And
which is what most of the time the doctors do anyhow. It's a broken toe. Like, there's not a lot.
Exactly, man. And so then I hopped on the leg press. And within one of the first couple sets, I felt that sucker pop, like back into place. Now, it still looked nasty for a couple of days, and it hurt to walk on. But I was able to, like, distribute the weight to where everything was more on the balls of my heel or balls of my toes down to my heel.
Don't do any pushing with your toes.
So, but I did. I could have found an excuse right there to not do it. I've busted this middle finger. You can see it's mushroomed out compared to my other ones.
Yep.
Several times, and have worked out with it over the years. Broken. Yeah, I have a friend who broke his finger recently, and it was legit. He had to have surgery on it. After surgery, they had all kinds of different pins going through it. He sent me a picture. He got the all clear from his doc. He came up here, worked out, and then was like, okay, I'm ready to start training again. So we had one workout, and he was supposed to come in on Thursday. So I sent him a text on Thursday and was like, hey, see you at 5:30. Oh, I went to physical therapy the other day, and my finger was really hurting. So they told me I should probably take another couple weeks off. I was like, dude, we can do legs.
We do lower back. We
There's
do
on
abs.
pushes. You
You
don't
don't
have
need to use that finger.
So
You might drop the
again,
weight a little bit so you don't feel like you got to squeeze the bar. But
I just, man, like, I don't know, dude. I guess
excuses are a dime a dozen.
we're a different breed.
Yep.
Maybe, but
and
I
you know what?
man. I'm not ever gonna let anything like hold me back from my routine. And I don't mean, like, let's say car accident, or wow, that's harsh, but something happens, catastrophe. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to be in here. But let's say my dad dies, okay, or any family member. Usually you get that phone call, and I mean the funeral's not right then and there, and so maybe I'm cold hearted. But if I haven't been to the gym yet that morning, if I get that phone call, I'm probably about cool. I'll be there in about an hour and a half. And I'm still going to come in and do my thing, because me not taking care of myself isn't going to stop what has already happened. But a lot of us use that as an excuse right then to take like a whole week off or
2 weeks off and be depressed,
stray away from our lives and say, oh, well, this happened, so I had to stop. Well, life happens. That doesn't mean you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, let me interject 2 things here.
Yeah.
I think when you do get that kind of phone call, a close family member has passed away,
mm-hmm.
and your lifestyle is based on what you and I do.
Yeah.
It helps me keep my head in the right place.
Absolutely, dude.
Helps keep me from thinking too much. It gives me something else to focus on.
Yeah.
For a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't think about it 24 hours different. When you're here, you focus on that.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, I seen this meme. I don't know if he really said it or not, but he seems like a pretty good dude to me at this point in life. There's this meme out there of 50 Cent saying, I don't believe in depression. Mm-hmm. He's like, where I come from, you don't have time to be depressed. You got to go to work. You got to pay the bills.
Well, that's true. I haven't seen that from 50, but I've seen another dude that does a podcast said the same thing. He was like, dude, if you're depressed, work, move. That's the problem with society nowadays, is we sit around and we're like, oh.
And if you have...
Yes, I'm not saying that depression is not real. I'm not saying that at all.
Neither am I.
But if you are stagnant and you're not doing anything to take your mind off of it, or to keep going and going and going,
right,
you're doing yourself a big disservice. Right. In my opinion. I'm not a doctor.
But we're on the same page. And whether it's pumping iron, walking, running, swimming, it's moving you.
So
it's moving your body.
Yeah. So you know this, and if anybody's listened to the other podcast, they know that Megan is finishing her nurse practitioner with a specialty in mental health. She has a master's in psychology. Initially, that was her first road that she wanted to toy around going down, was becoming a psychiatrist or a licensed therapist or something like that. But anyway. And so mental health, she studies depression and stuff like that a lot. So when she finishes her program and is a licensed nurse practitioner, our plan is to ultimately incorporate that into the gym. And this kind of goes with the same topic that you had, mental health and working out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is to incorporate her practice, into this, because movement is the best medicine if you do have anxiety or depression.
I agree. Or even for ADD.
So I may not be a doctor, but my wife is close. No.
Well, and I think, going back to the beginning of this conversation, I tore my pec partially a couple days ago. I'm in here doing this. When I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, work through it. I'd have told you that when I was younger. I told all my buddies that. Just work through it, you wuss. Let's go. I'm also at a point now where...
that'd be goofy, because you can obviously tell you did something.
Well, but if that happened to somebody else now, right?
Yeah.
Up here, I'd be like, my advice is maybe you get that checked out, because I don't know how that feels, but it doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would, at this point in life, not tell you, come in here and do what I did this morning.
Yeah.
I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but I'm going to test myself on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want this to get back to normal as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I also don't want to make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So like, so I did weight on the machine that I knew I could do with one arm and just kind of let off a little bit with this arm on a few reps and see how it felt.
Yeah.
So, and it depends where you're at. Like if you're new at this, intermediate, if you got a high level, you need to be able to know how to do that.
So
or
what,
don't do that
So what do you think?
in that case, you know?
What do you think you did it that day? Do you think it's something that has been in the works and waiting to tear for a little bit now?
No,
did
it
you
was
warm
a
up
total-
properly that day? I mean, what do you think? One of
You
the
know-
topics I had was, and it's not, you're not elderly, but it does talk about older adults.
He gives me shit all the time.
and working out was one of the topics I had. Just the benefits for everybody to keep working out. But
Well,
you
benefits
are in your 50s. So did you warm up properly? Do you feel like that you were going heavier than what you should have at your age? Like thinking
I'll tell
back,
you
hindsight.
I'll tell you exactly what happened that
Okay.
day. I came in and I drank way too much coffee that day and like virtually no water.
Yeah.
It was Friday. I was in a hurry to get home. The wife and I had some plans, some things going on, whatever. And I just wanted to get in here and get it done. But I'd been feeling really good my previous workouts.
Yeah.
And that was Friday's my first workout back from my 3-day run out of town.
Yeah. So the body's a little cold
Yep.
as far as this part.
And it had been a while since I was able to do the hundreds on incline dumbbell press. For a while, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get back to that. But I've been feeling good, and I did the hundreds 2 previous workouts. Once for like 4 or 5 reps. Then I got 10 reps on my last set. So that day, I come in and I warmed up with the 50s for 10 or 12 reps. Did 70s, 80s, 90s. And then I did 2 sets with the hundreds. So a set of 10, and I got like 8 or 9 on my last set. So at that point, I'm like, I'm pretty warmed up.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like, so, and it was pushing.
Well, I looked
it was
over at you,
it was,
and you were having some, because I even said, man,
you said,
good job,
yeah,
Streeter, or
yeah.
get it, man.
Yeah, no,
you know,
you noticed. So then I went to do rows, and I did my warm-up set, feeling good, threw a little bit of weight on there, and literally my 3rd rep, I tweaked my deltoid
Yeah.
enough to where I was like, okay, I'm not going to do rows. So I'm already mad. It was like a double. So Erica finished. I waited for her.
Yeah.
We went over to the decline press machine. I did 1 plate for about 6 reps, 2 plates for about 6 reps.
Mm-hmm.
I'd worked up to 3 plates finally. It's been a while. I put 3 plates on there.
Yeah.
I'm banging them out. I get to like
This is on the decline?
on the decline
Okay.
press.
Okay.
I freaking got to about, I don't remember, 7 or 8. And and I just felt it. I just let it down.
Oh, that's what hit. It wasn't even the inclines.
It was the declines.
Bro.
The inclines were perfectly fine. So I tweaked my delt,
Yeah.
and I
wonder if you were like, because of that, putting more emphasis.
well, and
to
I
try
wasn't hydrated,
Yeah.
and I felt like it just got tight. Everything got tight and hard
Mm.
within like a rep and a half.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that tight and hard where I'm not going to get a rep. It was that tight and hard where, hey, buddy, we're done.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
whatever reason. So it was but then I was like, I'm going to take a couple days off. I'm pissed. Then the next, then
And then
I
you were
simmered
right
down.
back the next day.
next morning, Erica didn't say much. I said, let's go to the gym. She
Well,
said,
I'm glad that your wife at least knew what was going on. And when you were being an a-hole walking out, she like pointed to her shoulder to let me know that you did something.
yeah. Well, and then that's why I texted you later. I'm like, I was just frustrated.
Yeah, I get it. I do.
So,
So
I mean-
anything in hindsight that you think you should have did differently that day?
I
Like that would be
should have
beneficial
hydrated
for-
better.
Yeah.
Water is a big key. I think sometimes these things just happen.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Nick Walker and the bad luck he's had right
True.
before the Olympia a couple of years.
Yeah.
And he's an animal. So you never know when it's going to happen. You never know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The manly pride of me says, if you haven't done some shit like this, you haven't freaking worked hard enough.
Shit.
but I wouldn't wish
It's
it on
not
anybody.
that common of an injury, Eric. There's people out there busting their butts, man.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody either. You know, like
Yeah,
if you have experienced it, you know, and it is what it is.
yeah. And I was for the viewers, I was being goofy. Eric's in great shape. I don't think he's too old to be. I thought it was the incline dumbbell press that got you, honestly.
Those felt great.
And he's not too old to be pushing 100-pound DBs, man. He obviously has the muscle and the size to support that. But I do think that once we get past a certain age, and I don't think you're at that age, and
I think it's
we got to be smarter with our training routine to prevent injuries. But again, I don't think that day you were doing anything out of the ordinary. But it's real fast. I'll turn it back over to you. We had I had somebody ask me last week. They were asking some advice, and this person is younger than you, but older than me, probably late 40s. And he's in shape. He's one of our members. He comes in here all the time, dude. And he's a pretty stout guy up top. But he's like, man, Kyle, I really want to get to where I can bench 405. I'm like, why? Like,
that's just the number in his head.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know, at a certain age, it's like
it gets hard to do.
Why? Like, why does I told him straight, and I asked him that. I was like, why, dude? And he's like, you're older. I mean, I don't even know if we can even get you there. But why 40? I mean, why? I have no desire to be like, ooh, I want to push 405. That's just, but again, I guess, you know, it's I don't know, you got a number in your head that you want to see. Like, you know, we've talked about my goal in my head to when I will be satisfied with like my body size is when I step on stage at 220 pounds or more at my 4% body fat.
I was like 3 or 4%
That's
body
the
fat.
goal.
Yeah.
Like at that point, cool, I'm done trying to bulk and grow. I will maintain at that point in my life. Whenever I hit that, that's the goal that's been in my head for like freaking 5 years now. That's what I want to see.
And when you started, what weight were you at the first time you went on stage? Like 180 something?
Yeah, probably 180.
I mean, so Kyle's looking at a 45-pound difference in muscle.
Yeah,
in theory, over X amount of years.
Yeah, first show was in 2020. I think I'm on really good track, or whatever the hyper echelon is. The higher echelon is on my weight class. I think it's 217, actually. I think if I'm over 217 in classic physique at the amateur level,
you get bumped up.
No, they're like, no, sorry, you can't do classic. You got to do men's open.
Right, yeah, you get bumped up to the big boys.
Yeah. So whatever that higher end number is, I think it's 217. Where you want to be. Yeah, then I want to do one show where I'm capped out at the highest I can be. At
least within a pound of that.
Fat. Yeah. I have no desire to be a pro bodybuilder. It's not why I do this. I do it because I like the discipline.
And we've talked about that's not healthy.
So
really.
So it's the goal. So like, you know, it's the goal that I want to see, and it goes back to the gentleman I was talking about. I mean, I guess I don't know. He's got a goal in his head. He wants to be able to go 405.
You know what?
Reps,
If he's mid-40s, I would say go for it. I was benching 405, and when I don't know what his goals are. I wouldn't want to do 10 reps.
Yeah.
But I was still benching 405 for singles and doubles 5 years ago on a good day.
Yeah.
Now, I say that on a good day. There were days when, you know, you get to 225 and it's like, you know, I'm doing reps today.
Different, dude.
Yeah.
Based on
like sometimes
where you're at mentally, how your day's been, your rest, your food.
Sometimes sometimes you got to take that instinctive training and use it once you got some time under your belt. Because there are days when my plan is I'm gonna do this, and I'm in at 405 at 1.
Yeah.
And there were days when I would go out, get on the bench, and after the third set, be like, we're rewriting the plan because we're not going to 405 today.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we're not going over 350 or 275 or whatever it was that day. Like some days, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Now,
when was the last time you did bench press?
I don't.
Barbell bench press.
I maybe 5 weeks ago on a random.
Really?
I don't typically.
I didn't see you in here doing it.
No, I don't think. Well, I don't. You know what? My shoulder's been jacked up.
Yeah.
My elbows. and I used to be the big three: bench, deadlift, squat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go do that shit. Bench press, it's just not. It's not good for your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's just not. You're trapped in one spot. Your shoulder joint is too wide open.
Yeah.
Everybody's bench, and there were guys when I was benching 405. I weighed about 260.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the fuel to do it, right? Yeah. But I could still do, back then, I could still do 25 pull-ups.
Yeah.
And there were guys in gyms that I belonged to that were benching 600 that were my size. And
yeah.
Sometimes you new guy at the gym, you get and you always get how much can you bench, bro?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't know. That's not the way.
Well, you know what I would do? I would look at them, I go, how many pull-ups can you do?
Yeah.
And it usually got really quiet because they never do a pull-up.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys. And I'm like, well, I can tell them, I'm not doing what you got on the bar right now, ever. I'm not even going to try.
No, I agree with you. I think that the barbell bench press has, it can be a great exercise.
It can.
For me, I see it more as if you're wanting to work on building your strength. If you want to work on building muscle size, dumbbells are better because you get a better stretch.
Yep.
You have to activate more of the stabilization muscles that work with the chest, like your shoulder.
You can work around.
Yep. You can change your posture
when you have an injury or whatever.
Is ergonomically correct.
Yep.
And so that's why I haven't touched a bench press in over like 2 years. I'm working with a new guy, just helping him out. He's a member here at the gym. And I was like, look, dude, I will help you out. But the first time I look up across the gym and see you doing anything that is not prescribed in your plan, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to do anything. You have to follow what I want you to do to a T.
If you want me to coach you,
yeah,
let me coach you.
So he was like, okay, cool. Got it. We can do that.
That's why I don't ask Kyle to coach me, because I like him as a friend too much. We would probably butt heads.
But he asked me the other day. And before we started working together, bench press 2-3 times a week, easily. Yes. Are you going to put bench press in my? I was like, no, dude, I'm not going to put bench press in your program. Right? So if you're aching to get on the bench press, just get over it, dude.
Or maybe you need another membership and you're sneaking in when I can't see you somewhere else.
So anyway, yeah, I agree. I don't know how we got on that topic. I guess we were just talking about shit. So I asked you when the last time you benched was.
We're good at getting going, but I don't. And when I do bench, I do have one of them slingshots.
Yeah.
And I use that. If I'm going to bench, I pretty much won't get under the bar without it. And I'm not benching at this point. I don't think I went over 185 pounds the day that I did do a few sets. Like, it was nice that feeling. I'm like, yeah, it's work.
Yeah, dude. I've thought about.
If I was
right now, I'm doing a bunch of compounds, like heavy compound lifts. I'm in week 7, maybe going into week 8 now of my 12-week program, where it's heavy back squats, deadlifts, and chest press, but I'm using dumbbells, not barbell. Now, I like barbell incline, as I spit everywhere. I like barbell incline chest press, but to me, that's
moderate weight instead of heavy weight.
I still go heavy on that, but okay. I don't think it's restrictive, in my opinion, as barbell bench press, because you still got plenty of room to like stretch it and bring everything down, because where I come and then get back up. So, and it doesn't fuck with my shoulder. So anyway, I'm not saying I don't use barbells on anything, but yeah,
I get it. I have moved farther away from barbells on a lot of things.
But you're right. When you're growing up, it's like,
I'm getting older.
Ultimate test of strength, like it's, what do you bench? I don't know. Let's find out, man.
Yeah. Or what do you squat or deadlift?
I don't care. When I was working construction, that's one of my bosses and friends was like, Yeah, he asked, what's your max? I'm like, dude, I don't know, dude. I haven't maxed out in a long time, dude.
Right.
To me, and so if you're doing percentage-based training, like meaning like, and I'm going to say 100 pounds just for simplicity, you know, if you're doing percentage-based training and you're doing 70 to 80% of your 1RM, then I guess it's beneficial to know, you know, what that 1 rep max is. But there's also plenty of like tables that you can find on the internet that say if you can bench press 225
Oh man,
10
they'll
times,
chart out everything for you.
your
A plan,
your
all
1
sorts
rep max should be
in this
range.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's ways to find it without actually going through your 1RM. And when I was finishing my master's degree, read a research paper that was like, and it was kind of based on what you were talking about. Like some days may be different. You might be off. And it's like, dude, to truly do a percentage-based program, ideally,
You need to be on every day.
in and do your 1 rep max every day to know where you're sitting at before you start your training. No one's going to do that shit.
Which means your diet, your sleep, everything has to be, in theory,
On
100% or
Absolutely.
damn at least 95% in every category every day. And who in this world has that luxury? It just doesn't happen, unfortunately,
No,
for most of us.
that's for most of us. That's the key.
Last
right
night's
there.
the first really good night's sleep I've got that I can remember in like 2 weeks.
Dude, me too, man. I feel pretty good this morning, man. I really do.
That's how I woke up this morning. I'm like, damn.
So
So
you're never too old to lift. Tailor your program for what you want to do.
yes,
And
sir.
just stay healthy so that way you can keep lifting. And if you do get injured,
How we doing on time?
make adjustments.
You-
We're fine. It's 12:19.
I will say, my wife trains with me, and then she comes in on my days out of town and has been doing quite a bit of cardio.
Yeah.
And I talked to her about that over the last couple of days because she gets up every morning and does 30 minutes of cardio on the bike.
Yeah.
And then she's been doing a lot of cardio here. I told her, I said, I think you're almost overdoing the cardio for what you want to do.
Well, what does she want to do?
Well, she's probably got, I don't know, a few more pounds that she wants to lose, right?
Okay.
And she's lost quite a bit in the last year.
Mhm.
She's had a good run, but she's kind of plateaued. I said, will you listen to me? And she said, I said, I want you to come in here. I said, I want you to do cardio in the morning. I said, because I think that's great to get your metabolism up for the day. I said, let's throw in another workout for you during the week when I'm out of town.
Mhm.
But I told her, I said, you need to do supersets and you need to go balls to the wall. Don't piddle around. So your heart, I said, come in and do 10 minutes on the treadmill, get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
And then go, if you're doing push and pull, have your push ready to go. So you know what you're doing. Then your pull, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do your 5 sets, then your other 2 push-pull exercises, your other 2 push-pull, then do your arms, then do a set of sit-ups, and get out of here. I said, and she wears the, Apple Watch or whatever, that same Garmin watch. I said, she did that the other day a little bit. Today, I kind of put her through it while I was doing my stuff. Your heart rate's like 130, 140. Yeah. And I'm like, you're getting your cardio in right now.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, you do this. I said, in your arms, I think your arms were bigger a month ago than they are now. I said, I really think when you're coming in and doing 40 minutes of cardio on them other 2 days after doing 30 minutes in the morning and not lifting, you're burning muscle along with the fat. I said, you want to keep the muscle? So I said, let's change your plan up a little bit.
Mhm.
So at least one of those days, she's going to come in and do push-pull for like a third time.
Yeah.
She doesn't do push-pull quite as crazy as I do. And I said, I think in 6 weeks, you'll see the change you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens with people too. Like over time, your body adapts to some degree.
It can.
So change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And get over a plateau.
Yeah.
So, but she was like, today, I'm like, well, how was it? She's like, holy crap. I'm like, I told you.
Good.
But I had to be, at first, I said, don't take this the wrong way. She'd get done, and she's kind of strong. I'm like, you need to go over there and get your set. I said, you should be 3 reps in already.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get a chance to catch your breath. This is go.
Well, it's like, it's the same with Megan. Last year, she didn't compete because she wasn't where she needed to be. And we didn't want to keep drawing out the process because it was just getting more and more unhealthy. So I told her this year before we started, I was like, if we're gonna do it and you want me to do it, you're gonna do it my way. Because I kept telling
Just
her,
like the client.
yeah, I
Yeah.
kept telling her last year that she had herself in too much of a calorie deficit. So that's you're talking to me about Erica, and I hear you.
Right.
I don't know where y'all's nutrition is dialed in at.
Well, I gave her some shit about that too.
So that's obviously a factor. But women in particular, dude, if they're in a calorie deficit for so long, eventually, because they're supposed to have more body fat than us, the body's like, F you, dude, I'm not losing anything.
It does, yeah.
I need it to hold on to. So I kept telling Meg last year, you're too low on your cat. But she was like doing it, like she would ask me questions. Like I helped her with her workout designs, but she was trying to do it more on her own. And so if I tried to say, hey, you're not working hard enough, she didn't like that. Or if I was like, dude, you're not where you want to be because you're not fueling your body the way you're supposed to, she didn't want to hear that. So this year, she is, we're only 2 months in. The end of February, you'll be 2 months into her prep. And she looks amazing. Even people in the gym are like, is Meg training for something, dude? Because she's like,
I haven't seen her in quite a while.
Really ripped.
I don't think I've seen her since we did the podcast.
But she's at about 1,800 calories, where she needs to be.
Not 1,400
or
whatever.
1,200.
Yeah.
And so her body's like, cool, I'm getting what I need to keep working.
And you do have to. No, I gave Erica a little shit today because I know her weaknesses.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, that's the other side of this. You know I'm going to preach to you. It's calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
I said, you got to have the good calories in. I said, and I know her weakness. I said, so those Sour Punch straws you have in your drawer at work that you dip into every once in a while, I said, those need to go.
Those add up real fast, man.
And guess what? It got real quiet.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I know you.
Erica, I hope when you watch this is all
she's like, well, there aren't any in there right now. There's almonds. And I'm like, yeah, but the next time that cart comes around, I get it. We all have our guilty pleasure. But she just smiled. And she'll watch this and she'll give me a poke. But and you know what? I like my pizza.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll wake up and think I should train really hard and diet, and I could probably get on stage. But then I'm like, 55 years old. I got so many crazy deformities from tearing things.
Yeah.
Bicep, tricep, this. I'm like, nah, I don't need to do that. I just need to keep training. And I got, I think I told you I'm working on dropping 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So
how's that going? Where you at?
I'm down 5 pounds.
Cool.
The first 5 were probably the easiest.
Yeah.
So I weighed myself yesterday. I weighed 249.8. So I guess I'm down 5.2 pounds.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Nice.
So and that was another thing. I'm like, but I'm just going to train around the injury, do everything else. And we got a plan. We've looked at our meal plan and lean things out a little bit there, and everything will be fine.
So who's your workout buddy?
My workout buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Erica.
I know that, but maybe everybody else doesn't, dude.
Oh, it's my wife. Crazy lady.
Why do you think it's important to have a workout buddy?
Well, for the most part, I think it's important. It depends on your mindset, but if anything, it helps hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And it's somebody to go through it with. And it doesn't matter if it's your wife, if it's your buddy, if it's your brother, if it's your dad, your mom. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, as long as they have a similar outlook on it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be the same, but they need to have a similar one and know yours and understand you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be hard to train together.
Yeah.
And there are days once in a while when I'm like, hey, babe, I need to do me today and you do you.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. I need to do this. And I kind of hemmed and hawed about doing my own thing for a while because I trained alone for a long time. And I'm not I'm nothing special, but I'm just that animal that can do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a harder time with that. So the reason we trained together, I'd been divorced, back in the dating pool, and one of my requirements was they got to do something to take care of themselves.
Mm,
and
good.
when I met her, she was not a weightlifter at
Yeah.
all. She was a hot yoga person. But I'm like, I don't care. As long as you do you, I'll do me. We'll afterwards we'll go have dinner. And I've trained with several people on and off throughout the years, and most of them don't last. And she told me one day out of the blue, she's like, I think I want to start working out with you. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this ain't gonna work, but we'll try. And she's stubborn like a mule, and it's been 10 years. So now
y'all working out together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much shortly after we got serious dating.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna start working out with you.
That's cool.
And I was like, okay.
Like, I've heard that story, but I didn't realize, like,
yeah, it's been a decade.
It's been that long since y'all have been training partners.
Pretty much a decade now.
Yeah.
And she just picked it up. And well, I had a conversation with one of the guys leaving here. He was like, man, the male guy.
Mm-hmm.
He says to me, he said, man, I need to get on your workout plan, bro. You're freaking, And I'm like, well, dude. I turned on and I looked at him. I said, listen. I said, I'm going to give you my recommendations for you. I've heard, he's having a baby. He's got stuff going on. I said, you probably walk how many steps a day? He's like, I don't wear one of those watches. I'm like, you probably walk 50,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
I said, so, and you're not a big boned guy like I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, you probably need to train 3 times a week, get in here and do basic push, pull legs, kind of heavy, and get the hell out. You certainly don't need to burn any more calories.
No, that's,
Yeah. He's like, really? He's like, I'm like, dude, I said, it's really simple. I said, you can make it as complex as you want.
Yeah.
But, I've told a lot of people, I do the same shit. And I've watched videos of pro bodybuilders, Dorian Yates.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same 15 exercises for 8 years and went in the Olympia. Now, to some people, they need to change it up because that's boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I like it because I don't have to. I know what works.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, you can make it as complex as you want, but it's really not that difficult to get to a pretty high level of fitness.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree 100%.
So anyhow, but yeah, I don't know how we got off on that either. But like, like Erica training with me.
Yeah.
I thought she'd get bored, and she's she'll ask me a question, and I'm like, you already know the answer. It's the same shit we always do.
Yeah.
It's back day.
What are we doing today?
Do we switch up some variations of rows?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't do the same one every time. Might do a dumbbell row, might do a barbell row, might do the T-bar.
Yeah.
Or the seated. But like we're doing some sort of row in that workout. Actually,
yeah.
I do usually 2 row movements in every workout, but that includes back. I'm doing some lat pulls and or some pull-ups.
Yeah.
And that's my back workout. Maybe some reverse hypers. And pressing is, incline, decline, and a press.
Mm-hmm.
Some flies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
you don't need.
It's legs, squats, deads, leg extensions, leg curls, and beat the shit out of your calves.
I've been watching this guy on Facebook a lot. And he's an ex, he still holds his pro card, but he doesn't compete anymore. And he'll like analyze videos of what guys are doing, like in the video.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the same with the younger guy that I'm helping out right now. See him doing a lot of like BS in here that I know he saw on social media.
Uh-huh.
And so he kept, what about this? Well, like, no, dude, stop watching social media.
It's so
stop
simple.
Believing everything. Stick to the basics. You'll never go wrong.
You
and I guarantee you the guys, and that's kind of this person on Facebook that I'm watching. Like he's like, guys, this dude is not, you want to grow your arms, do this. He's like, this person is not growing their arms by doing this. This is an inferior exercise. He's not even doing it right. He's doing more front delt work than he is
swinging too much or doing whatever too much.
He's like, this guy looks the way he does because he has good genetics. Stop believing these guys that you see saying that he'll even break down pro bodybuilders and be like, dude, this dude's ego lifting.
Yep.
Take a couple plates off. Stop slamming the bar. Focus on your form. You know, so those things do go a long way. I'm not saying that there's never a time and a place to like go heavy if you're like having one of those days and you're like, yeah. But I would say that 90% of my workouts are heavy, but still focused on
heavy
form.
Not at 100% of what you can do heavy.
No,
ever.
No. It's just goofy as shit.
Well, that's a prime example, and I love him. Just seems like a great guy, but Ronnie Coleman. You know, squatting 800 pounds, I don't know, 37 plates on the leg sled. But look at him now. You know, I don't know how many back surgeries he's had.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he can't get around. And I've trained really hard for a lot of years, you know, ended up getting a new knee. And I'm at that really woke me up to, I don't think I'll ever put more than 3 plates on a bar or like the leg machine. I don't need to do anything much over 300 pounds ever again. On the sled, that's different. That's on the angle. I do a little more on that. But even that, I'm not putting 10 plates aside on the sled ever again.
Yeah.
I'm going to put 5 plates on and do super controlled, slow reps. And I get the same burn, you know. So, anyhow.
Sorry, I saw you sitting over there. I was like, she's either stretching for a really long time or waiting.
Oh, you're good.
Bye, Anna. Don't apologize for anything. See you later. You too.
You too. Yeah, so
but that's why I was talking about also with our age, you know, thinking, I say our age in general, not you and me in particular, but and the gentleman wanting to push 405. I'm like, why? At this stage of the game, if you're not pushing 405 already, why do you want to beat your body to the point to where you're probably leaving yourself more open to injuries long term than hitting that goal? It's just an opinion, dude. But like, there's no reason. Honestly, there's really no reason for anybody unless you're a power lifter to be like, I want to hit 405. You can grow muscle without hitting 405. Just because you have 405 doesn't mean that you're going to grow muscle and get bigger. You're just working a different fiber in your muscle.
Probably grow more muscle doing 200 for reps.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even 315. I mean, that's 3 plates on each side, taking those for reps. That's big weight too, man.
As an old meathead / caveman, there's something in, I think, most men's heads. And I think I pretty much have gotten past it. I don't care anymore.
Sure.
No, I have, Kyle. I can walk into a new gym tomorrow. But I used to walk into the gym and I don't talk to too many people, but like, I want to go over there and bench heavy. I want to squat heavy.
Yeah.
Part of me doesn't care if people notice, but I don't want to see them. I don't want to be seen doing 2 plates on the squat. Like I used to be like, if I ain't squatting 500 pounds, why am I here? Was my attitude. It's just that caveman. I'm not going to be the weakest guy here. I might not be the strongest, but I'm going to be one of the strongest. Was my attitude for years.
Look, dude, there's a difference between being strong, and if you're throwing 500 on there and taking it for reps and hitting, let's say 6 or more, then cool. But if you're
struggling for 1 or 2,
180 pounds, and you're throwing 405 for your squat,
I know,
and you're going down one time and struggling to come up and yelling while you're doing it,
no,
you're not accomplishing anything at all.
Except
in your workout, other
injury.
than and making you feel good about that in your head, because
absolutely,
you're not training anything at that point, dude.
We're on the same page at that point.
Yeah.
No, I was able to do that kind of weight for 5 sets of 10.
I'll tell you what, man. On the been using the safety bar a lot lately. the one with the handles. That dude will humble you real fast, man. The first time I got on it,
How
I was
heavy's
like,
that bar?
well, it's only 80 pounds.
Okay.
But it's not the weight.
Is it the
It's
ergonomics of it?
It's the positioning.
Yeah.
Forces you to stay more upright with good form.
Oh.
It doesn't allow you to like drop forward, you know, like a barbell will allow you to do that. You do that shit with the safety bar, your ass ain't coming back up, dude.
Right.
I haven't barbell back squatted in quite some time because I've been using the safety bar for like the last 12 weeks now. But before I moved up to the safety bar, I could throw 315 on the barbell and take it for reps, like 12 and higher.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So the first time I put that safety bar on there, I was like, I'm gonna throw 225 on there.
It was worth.
I got this, dude. I got like 6 because I wasn't used to the ergonomics yet, how it was supposed to be. I was like, I'm huffing and puffing. It compresses like in a good way. It like compresses your anterior, so it like forces you to
Makes
use your
core
abs.
really work. Yeah.
Dude, I was like, holy crap, man! What the hell? So I'm up to 225 now on it. I'm doing. I did 5 sets of 15 on Thursday. During Thursday's workout. So it's time to bump it up a little bit more. But dude, no, it's like that fucker will humble you really fast, dude. And then
It's been a long time since
I don't like it because I can't lift as much weight on it. Yeah, because it's making you use proper form and mechanics to get it done.
Sure.
So anybody that's like afraid of stuff like that, dude, I'm like, dude,
well, that was like post knee surgery. I didn't want to squat because I had a lot of healing and muscle around the knee that was really weak. So I've been using help me out. What's that machine called?
The Epic Squat. It's kind of like a pendulum. It's a squat machine.
But what I really liked about that is you put your back flat against that pad.
Yes.
And you leave it there.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It's not the same as the safety squat bar, but it makes you all the work.
Agreed.
Right here.
100%.
Like
I had somebody using it the other day. They're like, "Hey, this is hurting my lower back." And sort of it's because when they were coming down,
they're coming off.
I was like, "Dude,
you got to keep
your back against the.
You got to feel. You got to feel that on your butt there. Yeah. And when you do that, it's a really
it's a great machine.
Yeah,
dude.
I love it.
I used that forever before I went back because I stopped doing back squats sometime last year when I started leading up to competition prep, and was using the squat machine and a bunch of leg press and stuff like that. This year, I said I brought deadlifts back in and barbell back squats, a lot of barbell work because the goal was to put on 15 pounds of muscle throughout 2025 before I compete again next year. So anyways, that's why I went back to doing a lot of heavy compound movements that involve multiple muscle groups and joint groups to really
that's how to get the big gains.
Some more size on. But yeah, I was using that squat machine.
I love that thing.
I've been using it for a long time. It is good. It's really good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what else you got, bud?
I don't got anything. That was actually a really good conversation. I
think so too.
I could sit here and go all day, but
no, but I think that was perfect.
Yeah, that was great. That was really good, man.
Enjoyed it.
What are you doing the rest of the day?
There's an art show downtown. We're gonna go to that, and the wife and I a little date night. Got reservations for dinner.
Where at?
I knew you were gonna ask that. Something Urban Grill or something. It's
downtown.
Downtown. It's been there for. I've heard it's good too.
Yeah.
Wanted something kind of like Rick's, but we've been to Rick's. So we haven't been there, and they got
heard the menu's really good, dude.
Yeah. So we got reservations.
Very cool. That'll be a fun day, man.
Yeah.
I got a client at 1, and then our freaking clothes dryer stopped running a couple nights ago when it got cold. Power still kicks on. Everything up top kicks on.
Doesn't spin?
But it doesn't spin. So I'm going to
take it just as simple as a belt. You can take the back off and see if it's a belt?
take the back off and see if there's a fucking reset button or something like.
Or if there's a belt that's broke or something that,
So hopefully that doesn't take me too long. So we got a bunch of laundry. Other than that, might be gathering up all the clothes and going to the laundry mat. So that way I just get it banged out.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm thinking about doing that anyways, because then laundry will be done in like an hour and a half, all of it.
Yeah, because
Not
you can
just
do multiple
rotating
loads.
every
Yeah.
day or
Yeah,
throughout the day. So then the normal stuff, grocery store, find out what the kids want to do for a cheat meal, man. Dude, I'm burning through calories, dude. I'm up to about 4,700
Shut up. A day?
a day, documented calories, not counting the probably 300 or 400 that I'm trying to get on the side with like snacks, peanuts, and shit like that throughout the day. And it's going good.
He's not normal. We're not normal.
No,
Don't
no.
like.
But here's how. So I take my calorie output, and that's how I work build my program. That's why I'm on a 4-day program. I'm like, okay. So I'm averaging right now, about let's just say 1,000 calories a day, just from working out. Now I'm not working out every day, but if I take my calories from my heart rate monitor and average that out from my 4 days over 7, it's roughly about 1,000 calories a day that I'm burning just from exercise.
Right.
So then I take that, plug it in all the different formulas and say, okay, cool. Well, if I want to gain weight, what do my calories need to be? And so right now it's about 4,700 a day. So I'm getting that, but my workouts, I'm not just like, they're like so intense right now, dude. I'm just burning through everything. So Monday morning, because I work out Tuesday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday are my rest days.
So you're on a similar schedule as I am.
I honestly, I want it to be every other day workout, but my life's too busy. I can't force that, or I can't make that happen. So anyway. So on Tuesday morning of last week, I woke up after my 3 days of intake and no working out.
Right.
I was 238 pounds. By Saturday morning, after my last Friday workout, I was down to 232. So that's how many calories
You
I'm
burn
burning
in there 4 days of working out. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that by this Tuesday, I still have today and Monday to get all my food in. If I could at least get a pound gained a week, you know what I mean? Like both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
The day before I start my workouts again, and the day
higher
I finish,
and a little bit less lower. Yeah.
So this week I'm hoping to be at 239 on Tuesday morning, and then 233 hopefully.
I think they call
by
that
Saturday morning.
I think they call that meathead algebra.
I think it is, but anyway. So,
yeah.
So the point I was going with that is talk to the kids. Meg's working tonight. So talk to the kids and figure out what they want to do for cheat meal night. Get some good carbs and some good protein in, man. You know, probably spaghetti and meatball sounds good.
There you go.
We'll do something like that. But that's what's on our agenda. Laundry, mess with the dryer, see if I can get it to work.
Grocery store. Cheat meal with the kids. Yeah.
Typical Sunday, man.
I mean, we do grocery on Saturday morning, so we did that yesterday. But yeah, it's our Sunday is it's food prep.
Yeah.
Which Eric is probably doing right now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, y'all have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Eric and Kyle, Rebel and Last, the Iron Rack. Like it, love it, watch it, share it with your friends.
Subscribe, whatever.
Bye, guys.
Bye.